Yes, guys, welcome to Chasing Green Arrows. This is FPL Insight. I'm Gianni, the FPL guy, and I'm joined by Dean Jones. Dean, how are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. It's very weird to see you with a different background. I don't think I've seen that in the whole time that we've been doing this. So you're obviously off travelling, are you?
Yeah, I am at a mate's wedding in Northern Ireland tomorrow. So got the ferry here last night, and yeah, going to have a good weekend in Ireland. But I'm hoping the Wi-Fi is going to be good enough for this hour-long chat. I'm sure it will be.
Looks great. Looks great.
But yeah, it's not quite the setup I'm used to. No football shirts. I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone without them, mate.
Yeah, be testing for you, this, mate. This is like it's like you've hit the Champions League and you're off on tour. That's how I'm considering this. But yeah, look, big weekend ahead. Thanks for everyone who's tuning in. I mean, loads of comments we got coming in already.
Yeah, love that. Guys, so good to see you. We're going to be with you for the next hour. We're going to be showing our teams, most importantly, but we're also going to be looking at starting 11s. Dean's got his predictions for some of the top teams. We're going to be answering your questions as well. So do get as many questions in as you would like. Can't always get to all of them, but we get to as many as we can. You guys hopefully know us as the channel that involves you guys. That's what we're about. If you're new around here, Chasing Green Arrows is about you guys, which is why we do Mondays and Fridays at 7. And we like to think we're building a little community here. But let's start with the weeks or the last couple of days' big news. And I think if we're looking at today's news, Dean, it's around a transfer and it's around Man United. And Casemiro's a big news story for the Premier League, isn't he?
It's a really, really big story, this. I think Casemiro is so good. I love him. Yeah. He's one of those players that you can bypass easily if you're like just casually watching a game, but you analyze a game, and Casemiro has a massive influence. And Man United need a midfielder with massive influence. And I think this is exactly what they need right now. It's a player who is no holds barred, like he's no nonsense. He will definitely help fix some of those problems that they've had. Very different to Frankie de Jong, don't get me wrong. And I think that they are still pursuing Frankie de Jong. Don't personally think it's going to happen at this point, but they're still pursuing that. They are different footballers, but this is a big help to fixing Man United, even if it's just short term. I don't think this is a signing that helps Man United over the next 4 years, but over the next 4 days, the next 4 months, the next season, this is massive for Man United, having a player like Casemiro to help try and change the vibe and change the feeling around United. The first question there from Leo, what will Casemiro price be? I mean, personally, I don't think he's an FPL asset, but what do you see him? I mean, surely he's probably like a 6 because he's not offering you much, is he?
I think 6. As deep as he plays, and he's been brought to United to play, of course, at the sort of base of that midfield. We have seen at Real Madrid, haven't we, him pop up with good, important goals. He's also very good in the air. Like he gets quite a few headers. He's not the biggest, but he's got a good jump on him and obviously very good timing. But he's not going to be one for FPL in terms of consistent assists and goals. And yeah, I think 6 million, and he'll be very lowly owned all season because FPL doesn't really reward his types of player. But it'll be interesting to see how that affects United. Clean sheets for United with Casemiro at the spine of the midfield. Could that improve the likes of Dalot becoming a 4.5 option later in the season? Could it give them more goal threat because they're so solid? So it'll be interesting to see how it affects the knock-on effects. But as a player, yeah, as Nuclear Atom says in the chat, Nuclear's a big Real Madrid fan. Casemiro is an elite midfield destroyer.
Yeah, Man United need that. Like, they've been way too weak. Let's see what it means for the midfielders that are already there. I know that United have already started to get inquiries about McTominay, so let's see if he ends up somewhere else. I imagine they'll keep him for the depth, but we'll have to wait and see. And of course, United now still after Anthony as well. They're going to be paying massive money if Anthony arrives. We're talking like 80-odd million pounds at this point for them to sign Anthony. This is ridiculous. This has got way out of hand. Ajax, if they get that money, are laughing. don't get me wrong, United obviously need an attacker, and that's why they're going to end up paying money like this. But this is absolutely absurd. I mean, you could go and get Callum Hudson-Odoi. You could go and get Hakim Ziyech. You could go and get. I wouldn't, but you can go and get Alan St. Maximin for 50 million. Like there's players like, oh my goodness, way cheaper than this that that at least have Premier League experience. Like to come in as a forward without Premier League experience and have to make an impact, so difficult. So yeah, let's wait and see who Man United get in. But looks like they are just keep plugging away at Anthony.
Oh, so funny. Maybe they don't want to be seen as getting a player that's already used goods at a Premier League team and they want that sexy European pick. But I'm with you. Some of those names you mentioned, way better options. Guys, loads of questions coming in. We're going to get to a couple of them if we can. Luke, who's your captain for game week 3? Salah, Haaland, Jay. Yeah, there are so many options, Luke. We'll talk in our team reveals more, but we'll give a little insight into our captaincy now. I'm set. Like, I am going to captain Salah. I just look at what he did last year against United both times. And with Bobby Firmino playing instead of Darwin, I think that's better for Salah. Darwin, as much as I love him, I was always worried about Darwin's effect on Salah. He was a little bit wider in those games we saw. Yet with Bobby, we know Salah's role. And yeah. I'm going there. And Jesus will be my vice. Little tip, guys, don't captain and vice captain someone from that United-Liverpool fixture, just in case it's called off. Have your vice captaincy on someone else. I'm sure it's going to go ahead. Don't want to scaremonger here, but don't put your vice on the same fixture.
No, it's worth pointing out for sure. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, I'm Salah too. No intention to change. I think, at the moment, you look at that United team, you've got to assume that Dalot and Maguire are going to be starting, and then it's Martinez or Varane. Either way, Martinez hasn't settled yet in the Premier League. Varane's, I don't think, up to speed because he hasn't played. And then whoever United play at left back. I mean, I think Salah would love it to be Luke Shaw. I reckon Malacia might get his spot back. I've got to say, I think Malacia might get his spot back and he deserves to. If Luke Shaw plays and he's going at Luke Shaw and or Varane or Martinez, then honestly, Salah could do some numbers here. He could do some numbers. He could do some damage. Yeah.
The fact is at Old Trafford, I think that might suit Salah. It could get ugly after 1-0. Colm, Vardy for captain this week. Am I right, everyone, or just me? I mean, it's a very nice fixture for Vardy at home, Southampton. I think Leicester win that, and I think Vardy can score. But if you're captain Vardy, that means you've got to bring Vardy in, and I don't love going into Leicester. I think I'd go Leicester as a 1-week punt, but then that's 2 transfers in and out. So, yeah. Lewis, what are you saying about Cucurella? Let's ask Dean. I was missing the best due in FPL. What's your thoughts on a quick punt from Trippier, whose fixtures have turned a little bit, but 2 clean sheets. They've got Man City next, to Cucurella, Dean. Would you make that move?
I don't think I would at the moment. I think short-termism. I mean, you look at the fixtures, and obviously because Newcastle have got Man City, you're tempted. But honestly, over the course of the next few weeks, I wouldn't say it's particularly worth it. I think Trippier is still showing to be good value. I mean, so far, Newcastle and Man City, the only 2 teams not to have conceded a goal to. So it shows that Newcastle are stable at the back. I think Cucurella is definitely value, but I'm not necessarily sure that it's worth switching from Trippier to him.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. Wait and see on Cucurella. Let's see how Chilwell's game time might affect him. I think we've got a message from Hayley. I love that. Perisic to play. What are our thoughts? This is a question I've got as well, Hayley. Guys, loads of you have got this question too. So let's take a look. We're gonna ask Dean. We're gonna have a little deep dive into some of these 11s, especially Spurs. We're gonna talk Perisic. It's Pep Roulette.
Yeah, so let's start with Tottenham. I mean, Pep Roulette, for those that weren't here last season, I mean, it is what it says on the tin, really. It's predicting lineups. Typically, we'll be trying to guess Man City. Might be a bit easier than it has been in the past. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's predicting 3 lineups from big games this weekend. And we've started with Tottenham here. And yeah, the big question, I guess, is Perisic, and does he get the nod over Sessegnon? And so I've reached out to one of my best Tottenham contacts, probably, to be honest, my best Tottenham contact earlier on, and he's He's usually pretty accurate. And he just says what he thinks. And I literally said, what chance do you think Perisic has of starting at the weekend? And he said, I have to be honest, I think he will. It seems to me that he's getting the nod. So he said even for 60 minutes, he can get through. So I think that this is the week that Perisic actually works his way into that Tottenham lineup. And, well, it's good news. Have you got him?
I have, and I've had him game week 1, I've had him game week 2.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you dumped him or not.
But I was always like, I have to wait to game week 3 because it's a good fixture, and Sessegnon was poor against Chelsea. So yeah. I think I'm with you. I agree with 99% of that Spurs lineup. The only one I think since you've written that, Romero, I think Conte said is out for a couple of games, but I guess we'll see Sanchez coming in. And to be fair, no one cares about Spurs centre backs. It's all about the wing backs. And Emerson's an interesting one. If he continues to play well, he's 5 million. Like, we know we're going to get good value out the Spurs wing backs. But Perisic against Chelsea, he took a corner with his left foot, then went on the other side and took a corner with his right foot. And then he got an assist all in like 20 minutes. I'm excited to see him start, if he starts.
Yeah,
the big question is, does he get to 60? Does he get to 60 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, that is obviously a bit of a question. But how many players have you ever seen in your life take set pieces with both feet? That is insane. I can't think. I mean,
Lewis will know. There'll be one or two, I'm sure. But
was at Fulham, took penalties with both feet, and he would change. Yeah. He would alternate feet when he was at Fulham, like which foot he would take his penalties with. But I haven't seen someone do it with the corner specifically, because like it's such a skill. It's such a skill. Like, to be able to smash it or place it with either foot from a pen is one thing. To be able to take a set piece and swing it in with either foot at pace is unbelievable. And that is what we're getting from Perisic. And that is a great FPL asset. As I say, I'm not sure there is another player out there that can do that. And as you say, Emerson at the moment, he's got that spot. Yeah, Romero's a bit annoying. It sounded like he might be okay, but he's not. So, switch that over. But I don't think anyone's really got him in this game anyway.
Son corners are rubbish as well. Like, Spurs have been bad at set pieces, which is why they've got the new set piece coach, who's also shares a name with me. He was the Italy set piece coach at Euro 2000 or 2020. And yeah, Perisic, I think from the start, even with Son on the pitch, should be on those corners. Obviously, he was on them at Chelsea, but Spurs weren't someone on the pitch. Should we move on to a couple of the other teams? Oh, okay, let's ask. Nuclear's got a good question. What thoughts do you consider to get through a 50-50 decision? It's tough. For me, there are very few 50-50s, right? A lot of those 50-50s are actually 51s, 49s. So just try and work out where you sit there. And often it's heart versus head. Try and go with your head more often than not. Heart is often allowing club bias to come into it. And because we all care so much about the teams we support, club bias can come into it. Historically, on 50-50 calls, I was used to go against Man United because I didn't like them. I remember going a season without putting Wayne Rooney in my team because I had disliked him so much. Take that out of FPL because, of course, all we should care about is points, right?
Yeah, no, I've done the same thing. And I mean, I steer clear of Fulham all the time. I'm okay with that because it's Fulham, so I'm usually okay. But if it was another team that I supported, I'd probably be in trouble. Right, let's move on to Chelsea. Front three, Sterling, Mount, Havertz, I think takes care of itself. Mendy in goal. Obviously, their tactics are flexible at the moment. But speaking to people, they think that it'll start with wing backs. We've gone here with Koulibaly, Silva, Aspi, and then James and Cucurella as the wing backs. Bit of a midfield dilemma at the moment. Obviously, Jorginho is just about okay, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek looks like he'll get the start with no Kante and Kovacic available. I don't think that like Conor Gallagher is going to do enough so far to get the nod. I think Conor Gallagher's future at Chelsea is still massively in doubt. Personally, I think he'll be leaving Chelsea, which is a shame, but I just don't see that he's quite there. Like, Chelsea are a club going for the Premier League title in their minds and competing in the Champions League. Is Conor Gallagher there? I'm not sure he is. I think Chelsea might still go into the market for another midfielder, and I think that this is when you realise that they probably need to, because don't get me wrong, Ruben Loftus-Cheek at times for Chelsea has really stepped forward. Can he do it regularly throughout the duration of a campaign?
No, because
you can't. Yeah, exactly. There's no way you can bank on him.
Yeah. And so, in a way, same with Kante now. Like, the Kante injuries we've seen in the last couple of seasons, they're really becoming very regular. So you need that. Frank de Jong would be an amazing signing, not just because United wanted him, but because he's a very good footballer. Chilwell's interesting question, Matt. the press conference from Tuchel today, he said if they're playing in a back four, Cucurella and Chilwell are competing for one spot. But if they're playing with a back five, they're not, because he clearly said Cucurella can play left centre back or left wing back. Chilwell can't. It will affect both their minutes, and when we see midweek fixtures in Champions League, there will be a little effect there. I still think Cucurella is going to be good value to start 7 or 8 out of 10 games when fit. But he is not going to be a Reece James, starts 9, 10 out of 10 when fit.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Cucurella's definitely like moved the needle on Chilwell for a lot of people, and he's too much of a gamble, really, for me at the moment. I think he's just not really worth it. You can gamble on Cucurella if you want, but it is exactly that at the moment. But yeah, Chelsea, big game for them. The tricky game. They're playing Leeds. Leeds have started the season really well. Very different side from last season. Don't forget, Leeds and Chelsea have a big history, so there'll be the atmosphere inside Ellen Road will be a lot of aggro, to be honest. These sets of fans do not like each other. This goes back like 50 odd years. This rivalry between these two teams, and so these two sets of players might not realise that completely, but they will do once this game gets underway, because the atmosphere at Ellen Road will be mad. And I do wonder if that will affect Chelsea, even though I do think that they will win the game. But tough fixture, definitely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Guys, in 5 minutes' time, you're going to see our teams. We're going to be doing some unpopular opinion as well. And of course, answering your questions all before 8. But guys, we have to stop right now because it's brilliant. Friday night, this is what we want. 150 plus of you watching. That's brilliant. We're building. However, CH has nailed it. Thank you, CH. Like the stream if Salah is your captain. Guys, the reason we're saying this is we've only got 30 likes. Now, surely you're enjoying the content we're getting right here. And let us know in the chat if you enjoy these predicted 11s, because we only spend 10 minutes on them. But Dean's giving us incredible insight here. And that's where we try and differentiate from some of the other FPL YouTube channels. This isn't just some FPL guy giving you his opinion, which is what I do and historically have done for a few seasons now. This is leaning on experts like Dean, who have good connections to clubs, especially the big clubs, to try and get a steer on who might be starting. For example, Dean's just told us 5 minutes ago, his contact at Spurs, we think there's a good chance Perisic starts. He's confident that Perisic will start. Like, good insight to know there. And they are the early kickoffs, so we might see a couple of bit team leaks, but do take those team leaks with a pinch of salt. Sometimes see so many fake team links that leaks. I often am suspicious. So yeah, thank you guys. I can see those likes ticking up already. You guys will succeed. It will simply take a season. Yeah, I think it has. Like, we've been going. Dean and I have been doing this about 6 months. And we're delighted to see the channel grow, and we're here for keeps. Mondays and Fridays.
Yeah, look, when we started, we were getting 30, 40 views 6 months ago. So to now see the numbers, like, thanks for everyone. It's not only just stuck around since then, the first 30, it was probably FPL River and the lads. So many jumping on, and you all seem to be coming back. So we really appreciate that, and we hope that we give you something in return for your loyalty. Talking of, I'm going to talk about Liverpool now and give you the insight that I've got so far on what their lineup is likely to be as they head to Old Trafford.
Gomez back in, that's good.
I think so. Yeah, this seems to be the feeling around it at the moment. So that is obviously a big question, but it looks like it. So this is how we're expecting that Liverpool at this stage. Obviously, it's a couple of days to go because they are one of the later games. But Liverpool. Well, Firmino comes in up front, obviously. Like, that's almost a no-brainer at this point. No Darwin to confuse people at the moment. In midfield, Harvey Elliott, expect him to continue. Played really well so far this season, so that's an interesting one. And at the back, I think that this is what we're looking at now. Gomez lining up alongside Van Dijk, but really, really big game this for Liverpool because there's so much expectation on them. Like, everyone is like 3-0 Liverpool, 4-0 Liverpool, 5-0 Liverpool, whatever it is. No one is giving Man United a hope in hell here. Whereas the first 2 games of the season, United were just expected to win. Brighton and Brentford. So they're like 6 points down on where they should be. They're going into this team as actual losers. They're losers. Nobody's giving them a hope in hell. They're signing Casemiro. They're starting the bounce back. You never know. Guys, honestly, I feel an upset on Monday. I mean,
I said that last season in both the United Liverpool fixtures because they went into that so bad, and I didn't captain Salah because of it. And now I was like, never again, never again. Got a question from Anthony on Robbo. He came off for Simicast, who didn't play particularly well either. Loads selling Robbo in the community this week to get Luis Diaz. I understand that if you've got free transfers, I'd be really reluctant to sell Robertson. One, Gomez is a better defender than Phillips, and I can see some clean sheets coming. But more importantly, Robertson on Monday night against Palace, before Zaha scored, Robertson was taking up some unbelievable positions, way more advanced than Trent, at times more advanced than Luis Diaz in front of him. I think those selling Robbo could be stung by that.
Yeah, I saw someone tweet earlier that at the rate we've been going and the drop off with Robertson, it's not going to be long, maybe even this week, before there'll be more owners of Cucurella than Robertson. That has been how many people are jumping off. That's crazy. That's crazy, especially ahead of a game like this. Like that flank, like Dalot up against Robertson Diaz. Like they could have an absolute field day down there. Be very careful about dumping him. Like, be very, very careful because he always crops up. He always comes back. And over the course of a season, to be honest, like if you're getting Robertson, in my eyes, you're getting him for the season because you can't be jumping off him, jumping back on because you'll miss points because you never know when his big contributions are going to come. Could easily be that it's coming this week. But Liverpool obviously, expected to win. They need to start winning games. Like that, they've dropped a lot of points so far. They're already off the pace with Man City, and this is a very important fixture for them.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Guys, loads of you interacting in the chat. Good to see it. I'm really interested to know where you guys are watching from. If you fancy whacking your country in the chat, just so we can see where eyes are on from all over the world, do let us know what country you're in. And guys, I've seen some good comments about the channel as well. Really delighted to see that. And look, this is the channel. Many of you, when you subscribed back 6 months ago, this is the channel that saw Fabrizio Romano come on. This channel saw Giuseppe Rossi. We've had Kelly Summers on. We've had Jules Breach. And every now and then we'll get some of these guests on. Loads of you in Norway. Wow. Loads of you in Sweden and Northern Ireland, FPL scientist and A. Dawson. I'm currently in Rostrava. If you want to come and say hello.
He's next door. He's next door.
Croatia, India, USA, Portugal, loads. So good. So good. Kenya. Awesome,
it's pretty
guys.
Mad. That is pretty mad.
Loads in Scandinavia. Norway. I can't believe that.
Yeah, it's surprising. Yeah, I mean, you expect like America and stuff, but I love it when you get the more niche things. I saw actually someone from Birmingham, Alabama. Someone wrote in earlier on. I was like, I like that a lot. Birmingham, Alabama is a cool one. Azerbaijan, love that. Oman, wow, so cool that we're getting across to so many people. And thanks again for everyone who jumps on this chat.
Yeah, good stuff, guys. We've got to check out our teams. Many of you are here for this, so let's see our teams. Good stuff. Come on, Leicester, the Costa del Sol of the East Midlands. Love that. Let's have a look at your team first, Dean. Tell us about your money in the bank and your transfers.
Yeah, so basically I dumped Jack Grealish and I've bought in Martinelli now at the start of the season. Obviously, I had a conundrum like Martinelli or Saka. I went with Saka. Martinelli's obviously started the better. So I jumped Grealish and I was like, right, I'll get Martinelli in because for the Bournemouth game, I'm quite happy to have 3 Arsenal attacking assets in anyway. They've still got nice games to come after this. So they've got Fulham and Aston Villa to come after this Arsenal. I might even be that I keep those 3 Arsenal assets, to be honest, because over the course of the next 3 games, I'm not sure exactly who's going to pop. I just hope it's not Odegaard. If it's Odegaard, I'm in big trouble. But it's something I've never really done before with Arsenal. Like, and I don't think in the duration of FPL have I gone heavy on Arsenal. But here we are. This is a new era. Finally, Arsenal are coming out of the tunnel and there's light there and they've got a really nice team to watch and a good team that have got a lot of promise this season. And I'm just going to weigh this up, this Martinelli Saka thing. One of them will go. At the moment, it will be Saka that goes, especially as he's 2 million more. But Martinelli started at 6. He's up to 6.3 already. So I'm taking him. He was obviously undervalued at the start of the season. Obviously, my defense is just full of fullbacks this week. They've all got reasonable fixtures, to be honest. So they can all stay. Haaland's really here because everyone's got him. And I'm
The
just like,
FOMO
okay.
pick.
Yeah, it really is. He's just there, and he's probably going to stay there for most of the season, because I need to figure out which games he's going to score in. He did it against West Ham. He didn't do it against Bournemouth. Now, that doesn't really make much sense when you look at it like, well, West Ham were a team that just finished in Europe and Bournemouth were a team that were in the Championship. But then you think, well, Bournemouth defend deep. They would have probably had 2 men on him at all times and focusing completely on him, whereas West Ham had to try and get something out of the game and came out. And they were obviously, the game was at West Ham. So that gave Haaland more space to play in. We were talking on Ranks the other day about the fact that maybe Haaland has a significant goal difference between home and away in terms of the different attention he's getting. When teams go to the Etihad, they're not expecting to get anything. Maybe they're just looking to mark Haaland out the game and make the most of it. If he scores a pen, he scores a pen. Away from home, teams under pressure to come out. And that's when Haaland will find his space. So we'll have to wait and see if that's true. But yeah, for now, I'm going to have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Going to Newcastle. Last season, Man City beat Newcastle 4-0, but that was in December. That was before the new Newcastle arrived on the scene. So I don't think it'll be a 4-0, but I do think City will win that game.
Yeah, I hear that. Questions in the chat. Loads of you watching. Guys, give us a like and a subscribe if you're new around here. I'm going to be showing my team in 2 minutes. Dean, one question I've got for you, actually, on this team, because I've got a similar dilemma. You've gone Williams in your starting 11, and loads in the chat have got this dilemma too. Williams and Pereira are on a lot of benches. This week, we all need to play one of them, most of us, because players like Bailey aren't featuring. You've gone Williams over Pereira.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to play Pereira when he's at home to, okay, Brentford aren't the best team, they're not the worst. When will you is my question, but also why Williams over Pereira?
I think Everton are one of the worst teams in the league. I think Everton are a much worse team than Brentford, especially right now. I think that Nottingham Forest will win this game. I've got a feeling that people are underestimating them. And like I had to do a prediction the other day. I said Nottingham Forest will win this game 1-0. I think Nico Williams has obviously got the license to set up. They've now got the forwards in there that actually can finish off the kind of chances that he makes. I just think out of the two, he's a better gamble. I mean, Andreas Pereira is good. He's started really well for Fulham. His pressing's been so intense. It's been unbelievable. He hasn't really, for me, been that threatening around the goal, though. I'm not sure where his points are going to come from in FPL yet. Like, I'm keeping him because he's going to play every game when he's fit. It's not the reason, he's got a triangle by him here. That's not the reason I'm not picking him. He's going to play. But I just think Nico Williams is the better pick for this weekend, and I think he could be a real threat.
Yeah, no, I like that. I must admit, it's a 51-49 decision for me. And I have had Pereira, just a home advantage. I like the set piece threat for a Mitro goal off a set piece or something. I don't know. But at the same time, Williams, I like it a lot. Guys, if you like Dean's team, show us with a thumbs up. Give us the like if you can. Like the stream if you like Dean's team. And now, should we have a look at how my team compares? Oh, finally, captaincy. You're pretty fixed on Salah. I know we spoke about it earlier, but you're pretty set there.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. If I was to pick anyone else, like, I know it says Haaland's vice captain there, but like there's not really a reason for that right now. He's just going to be my vice captain. But actually to give the armband to somebody else, it probably would be Jesus, to be honest. So but Salah's getting it. Yeah.
Cool. I like that very much. Same with me. Cool. Let's have a look at my team. I've got the same goalkeepers as Dean, the Leicester keepers. This is their last chance saloon for many. And this is the game we actually semi-expect a clean sheet. I've bought in Zinchenko. So I've taken a 4-point hit. I'm making the transfer of Tony tonight, possibly tomorrow morning, but that's coming in. So it'll be a 4-point hit. I've sold Darwin and I've sold Patterson at Everton, who has better fixtures than Williams, but long-term, I know I want Williams and I want to enjoy those price rises. Perisic, I really hope we're right, Dean, and that he starts. The 11 picks itself, other than the Andreas Williams decision, which could change, but I think I'm going to go Andreas. Williams, very lucky to keep the clean sheet last week. West Ham was so unlucky not to score. We should probably talk a little bit about why I've gone Tony and Zinchenko, right? Because the rest of the 11 is pretty template, but Zinchenko isn't in that many teams, certainly not engaged managers. He's a lot of casual teams, 25%-ish owned. And then Tony again, I think he's like 7% owned. So Zinchenko has been adopting some really nice positions. I don't know if you've noticed, Dean. He's almost playing this Cancelo style left back role.
He really is, yeah.
And I love that. Like it's Arteta like making him one of the main men. And I just think Tierney's a very good left back, and at some point might come in. Tierney's had 2 sub appearances. Zinchenko's not played 90 yet. I don't mind because he's playing 80. But at some point, do you think we'll see Tierney playing in the midfield? Zinchenko moving into the Xhaka role in midfield?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, that's where he wants to play. Like, one of the reasons he pushed for the transfer from Man City is because he wants to be a midfielder. So it's interesting that he started the season at left back. But also, yeah, I mean, Arteta has obviously copied the straight out of the Pep textbook there and started to mirror his tactics. And that's fine because you've got Zinchenko who knows how to play it. And that's obviously why you signed him. And Kieran Tierney will be watching and learning. He needs to learn how to play that role so that Zinchenko can turn into a midfielder. And until Tierney can do that, he's not going to have that spot, I don't think. Like, Tierney's great in different aspects of being a left back, but not where Arsenal are heading right now. But Zinchenko, yeah, I mean, I was tempted to have him in my team at the start of the season. It's probably one of my big regrets at the moment because he's a real asset. Like, Arsenal keeping clean sheets, they look much better defensively. Saliba's like changed a lot about the physicality of that defense. And he has a lot of license to play through balls and stuff and crosses. And I think he's a really good pick.
He's shooting loads as well. Guys in the chat, I'm really not worried about rotation with Tierney. If Tierney plays left back, Zinchenko's still on the field somewhere. This guy's going to be a main man at Arsenal. So triple Arsenal for the good fixtures. A question from FPL River. With 3.2 in the bank, worth upgrading Ward. I've already taken a 4-point hit and loads of good suggestions in the chat where I should spend my 3.2. The reason I went Zinchenko and not Reece James, because I really want Reece James, probably even more than Zinchenko, was it allows me next week to upgrade Bailey and spend 8.1 million. Now, you guys know who I can get with 8.1 million in midfield. I can go Luis Diaz, who plays Bournemouth at home. I can go Mason Mount, or I can go Foden, who, again, I think has got really nice couple of good home fixtures. So I'm giving myself that option next week. There is no way I'm taking a -8 for that, Kenneth. Like, that transfer can wait a week. Sure, we can always make our teams better, and people don't like having money in the bank and they think they need to spend it that week. 4-point hits are already a little bit rogue for this early in the season. I had to take one because of Darwin. I felt like I did. And I didn't really want to go in with Patterson when I could have Zinchenko. So I was willing to take one, but I'm definitely not taking 2.
Yeah. A lot of people were questioning Ward. And yeah, like Gaz says, Leicester defensively are bad. Whose idea was it to include Ward? It's not really about that, though, is it? Like, you haven't got him in there because you're expecting Leicester to keep clean sheets.
Enablers.
He's 4 million and he's going to have to make saves. They bought a new keeper this week, didn't they? They got Smithies. Yeah. Does that change anything about this pair that we've all got?
He could get a chance at number 2, but he's definitely not been bought to be number 1, I don't think. So I think we're comfortable there. But you're right, like the 4 million keepers, look, you have to make sacrifices in your team. And I didn't buy Ward thinking I was going to get 3 clean sheets in the first 3 weeks. I bought him hoping I'd get 1 in 4 and some save points. So I think we're good there. But sure, the money I've got will allow upgrades in Bailey and Ward. And if I want, I could go Reece James in for Williams next week. I'm leaving myself open. Perisic might have to be sold if he doesn't start. So there's lots there. Like a good point from in the chat about Captain Perisic. I mean, no. The problem with Perisic is if he starts, there is no chance he plays more than 70, 80 minutes. He definitely doesn't play 90. And there is a good chance he plays under 59, under 60 and gets 59 or fewer. And if that's the case, you get 1 pointer. So you just can't captain Perisic. If someone told me Perisic will 100% play 90 tomorrow, I would consider it because I do think he's a really good pick for Wolves. But no, the minutes risk is too big. Question from Simar. Salah is a good captain, given he's been a form as well. I think he is still a very good captain. I think Klaas's temporary form is permanent. Said that the wrong way around.
Form is temporary, yeah.
Form is temporary, Klaas is permanent. Yeah. Salah against United, arguably this is one of the easiest teams to be playing against in the Premier League right now, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't write Salah off. Like, there are very few players that are capable of playing at that standard. And Mo Salah, look, that first game of the season against Fulham, he didn't play well and he got a goal and assist. It doesn't need to play well. He needs to be given opportunities in the right areas, and he will eat them up. He'll get pens. He'll get luck. He'll get a lot of opportunities because Liverpool are going to dominate pretty much every single game they play. Honestly, I don't think much has changed with Salah. Like of course, he's going to have dips in form. Like he's not immune to that. You know, there's not many players that never have a dip in form. Messi had a bad season last season, but he's bouncing back from it right now. If Messi can have a bad time of things, then other people can too. And I just think that Mo Salah is probably adapting right now to a new style of football at Liverpool and a couple of new players coming into the setup and trying to get to grips with it. I think that obviously Liverpool should go and beat Man United. Man United are down on their luck right now. Like confidence is on the floor, morale's on the floor. Jesse's saying, isn't the Man U Liverpool game in jeopardy because of a protest or something? Isn't that something? And yeah, like there's a small chance. Like the protests don't normally cause a match to be called off, right? There's been enough notice on this protest. There'll be loads of policing. There'll be loads of stewarding. They'll have a plan for how they get the fans in there. And the chances are that this game still goes ahead. So like, yeah, like have a good vice captain in the bag. But this game's probably going to be played. Like it doesn't really help Man United to not play this game.
Yeah. Don't be too fearful, guys. We have had in today's show already team reveals. We've had fresh off the press. We're going to be answering your questions, but we're also, if you're new around here, you're going to love this feature. So I haven't told you loads of reasons why I've bought Ivan Toney this week. I love Ivan Toney as a pick this week. Nuclear Atoms has said who's going to be my next darling. It was Darwin. Now it's going to be Toney. But we might have someone that counters that argument. So let's have a look against the obvious.
Yeah, so here we go. He's got Ivan Toney on the board. Go on, mate. What's your reasoning?
You're telling us why not to go to Ivan Toney,
Oh, sorry, I am, aren't I? Blimey, so I've totally thrown that. Go on.
I thought my internet had gone as well.
I was like, hang on. What's going on? Sorry, totally threw me for a second. Because when you introduced it, I was like, oh, yeah. Let's start again. Ivan Toney against the obvious because he's not going to score. And you're right, it is me. Wow, totally thrown by that. But look, I'm a Fulham fan. There's absolutely no way I'm backing Ivan Toney to score this week. But it's not just because of biased, but what it is because of is I've seen the way Fulham have been defending so far this season. We are much, much improved. Like Tim Ream in defence, I had almost no hope for this season. I was terrified by the fact that going into that Liverpool game, we hadn't signed anyone. He was absolutely brilliant alongside Tosin, put in one of the best performances I've seen. And now we've signed Issa Diop. So if he's fit enough, he comes in too. If Marek Rodak is in goal, I might be slightly concerned. Bernd Leno is knocking on the door to get his first start. Fulham just not giving up the sort of chances that they typically have in past seasons. And Ivan Toney, for me, like I think he'll score 12 goals this season. I think half of them will probably be penalties. I think you could afford to go without this man this week.
There we go. There we go. Ivan Toney against Dean's Boys Fulham. Tune in on Monday to see who's happy about Toney and who's not happy about Toney. It will go either way, right? I'm going to be needing points. Dean needs no points.
Yeah, Dean going with this heart typical, says Nuclear. I mean, yeah, I kind of have, but you've got to have faith sometimes in your team, and I'm backing him. Actually, there aren't that many players this week that I can say will flop because it's really hard fixture list. But you've gone for one here, quite a brave one. Go on, tell us why Son's not to be picked.
I've gone Heung-min Son as much as he was the best player in the game last year in terms of value for me, like outshone Salah because of his value. But this season, we've seen a little bit of a sluggish Son. Like Harry Kane absolutely looks like the guy that's going to score more goals than Son. And last year we didn't see that. This year we did. We also saw him come off fairly early against Chelsea. I didn't expect that. Kulusevski, I think, got 90, yet Son came off. And yeah, there was a bit of tweaking formation, but this is a guy that, for me, isn't up to full speed yet. So, of course, he's going to become an option at some point in the season. He's an elite finisher. He's a great player. But for now, Son is not someone I'd be invested in. Also, I think he's going to lose set pieces. And that's a big part of Son's game in FPL. I think Perisic is going to be on corners and free kicks on either side with either foot. Son's set pieces are rubbish. So for me, despite the fixture, I'm not sold. And also, by the way, Wolves' defence, game week 1 and 2, underlying numbers, pretty good. Like we saw at the start of last season. So yeah, bin Son off for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really weird one, this. I mean, obviously, golden boot for him last season, not off the mark so far this season. I looked back actually the other day and see, how did he do against Wolves last season? Didn't score. Didn't score in either games against Wolves. And you think that last game last week, Reece James did an unbelievable job on him. Really, really good job by Reece James. Son did not get the kind of space or time that he needed. Look, the one thing about Son is he has an absolute elite mentality. He is a top professional. I honestly don't. If you were to like rank the top professionals in the Premier League, Son would be in there. Like there's barely anyone that can beat him in terms of every aspect of what it takes to cope with the rigor of being at the top flight week after week after week. But he always backs himself and he always bounces back. So it's a bit of a risky one, but I can understand why you've gone there. And I think especially because of the amount of money it costs to have Son, I think there's much better picks at the moment.
Yeah, good stuff. I'm with you there. And it's so much money. Guys, we've got 18 minutes left of the show. A third of the show is purely for you guys. We answer your questions. And look, loads of you watching might think, I'm not going to get my question answered. We try and get to it. But even if we don't, we pick the questions that will be of use to most of you, right? So all these questions, hopefully you're going to gain something from. So if you're still watching, stay with us for the next 20 minutes because we're going to get some good insight from both Dean and myself. There'll even be some transfer questions in there for Dean. We're going to alternate. I'm going to take one. Dean's going to take one. We'll give 20-second answers. We're going to rattle through them. Guys, before we crack on with them, if you can show us your love, that'd be awesome. Just a simple like. Or if you're new around here, subscribe. Mondays and Fridays at 7. You'll get the notifications if you subscribe. So let's start off with Haley. I'll answer this one, Haley, because I've done a -4 too. Do I do another to take Foden out? I know. No. -8s. Don't go there. And definitely you don't be taking Foden out. I know he came off at 45. I think it was just because he didn't pass it to Haaland. He'll be back in and the fixtures look really nice. I don't expect much against Newcastle, but then after that, I think Foden could be a lovely differential.
Yeah, Jahir, thoughts on Bernardo in a draft team? Will he be that guy this year? I mean, the stance from City has been like he's not going, but there's been so many people knocking on the door. I mean, I'm not confident that he'd be a big pick, but if he's still there at the end of the transfer window, then he'll be a great asset. So you just have to bide your time in that one.
Yeah. Zinchenko is a guy I've bought in for Trippier, for a hit, a good option. I mean, I've just bought him in for a hit. So yeah, I'm going to have to say yes. I think the next 3 fixtures for Zinchenko, not just clean sheet potential, but attacking returns is there. I like it.
Yeah. Fair point. Right. PSB, Reece James as a potential differential captain. Thoughts? I mean, I don't barely ever captain a defender. I just don't. It's just not anything I've ever done. But at Leeds, I think, is a risky one. I don't think Chelsea get a clean sheet. If you're thinking like clean sheet and assists here for Reece James, and that's why you're thinking it, I really don't think Chelsea are going to keep a clean sheet against Leeds. I think that Leeds have offered a lot this season. So I'd be a bit careful then. If you want to just be a bit different, then by all means go for it.
Yeah. Sanchez award goalkeeper this week. Who does Sanchez play? Let's have a look. Brighton.
West Ham, is it?
Is it West Ham? Oh, that's a tricky one. Who's got 3? Yeah, they go to West Ham after West Ham got 3 yesterday. This is the game where you play Ward because it doesn't get much easier. I mean, Southampton are a good goal scoring team, but back Ward in the home fixtures. He kept Aquino for the first 60-70 against Brentford game week 1. He could do he can do the 90. It is in him.
Absolutely, yeah. Ali, would you play Patterson or sell Digne for a hit? I mean, I wouldn't sell Digne for a hit, I don't think. I'm not sure that's worth it. I mean, I would, at this stage of the season too, I'd probably just play Patterson and hope for the best, like in game week 3. Don't take a hit on Dean.
Yeah. Eddie, Man United looking at Brighton Moyes Caicedo. That's got to be one for Dean. I'll throw that over. They were offered him, weren't they, for like not long ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not on the table anymore. Brighton absolutely do not want to lose him. Man United have asked the question. They weren't given a nice response. Right, Brighton, if they were going to sell him, it would take absolutely ridiculous money. Maybe it's not out of the question, given what they're throwing around now for Anthony and Casemiro, but I personally think it's very unlikely.
Yeah. Bernardo, which two would you choose out of Gabriel, Ake, Walker, and Cucurella? I would choose Zinchenko, not Gabriel, but an Arsenal defender, and then probably Walker. Ake might lose his place eventually, although he's playing very well, but Walker won't.
Yeah, Ake would be a bit rogue, I think. Right, Paul says, Haaland or Kane? I have De Bruyne and Cancelo, also Kulusevski. I mean, that is a tough one. Because you've got De Bruyne and Cancelo, I'm tempted to say Kane, just in case. And I think that De Bruyne will probably... I saw a stat, actually, that De Bruyne has scored more goals than any other Man City player since the start of last season up to this point, that's left at the club. So I'll go Kane, risk it, go for it.
Yeah. Bench Mendy or Ward? I don't like ever benching premiums. And Mendy is a premium keeper.
He is a premium, yeah.
I think I'd play Mendy.
You've got to.
Mendy.
If you're going to have Mendy, you've got to play every game. Like, Ward's there for a reason, and it's just if you don't want to spend much on a goalkeeper. Right. Graham, do I play Nico Williams or Josh Da Silva? Well, Josh Da Silva's playing Fulham, so he'll have absolutely no joy. Nico Williams is going to be Everton 1-0, so get Nico Williams.
Charlie, you're new around here, Charlie. Give us a subscribe if you can. You'll check us out every Monday and Friday at 7. We're here every week. Got Bamford and Bamford's out in 0 point in the bank. 1 game week punt. Watkins, Mitro, Tony. I don't think you need a 1 game week punt. I think go for a couple of weeks and go Tony. 1 game week, Mitrovic over Tony for me because the home advantage. Definitely not Watkins though. But long term, you want Tony. I really don't. You know, I thought he was brilliant at Brentford, and I think he's a good wide forward. He's just not a 9. He's just not got the clinical finishing of a 9.
Yeah. Best 8 million-ish mid. This is going to become Foden. I mean, it's just a case of when it becomes Foden. Like, there's no doubt that Foden is going to be the best 8 million midfielder in the game. I don't know if it's now. Like, Newcastle away is an interesting fixture. He just needed a bit more time because he didn't play as much pre-season as some of the others in that squad. It's going to be Foden.
Fatal. That is a cruel jibe at my captain of Havertz. I will add, it was a poor decision against Norwich last year. Well, it wasn't. It was a good decision. Terrible outcome. Where every Chelsea player returned other than Havertz. I went against Salah for United. Don't do it this season. Of course, you wouldn't be captaining Havertz this game week. I don't mind Havertz as a punt though. Not a captaincy option.
Totally right. Right, ABC DFPL, with the amount of chances Newcastle concede against Brighton, if they do the same against City, Haaland might haul. What are your thoughts? Yeah, totally. I mean, Newcastle were dug out of a hole by Nick Pope last time around. Goal line clearance or 2 as well. So Newcastle are giving up chances. They have kept 2 clean sheets, so you have to take that into mind. They won't keep a clean sheet here. Haaland will get opportunities. Like, Newcastle will come out and they'll have a go here, I think. I think that they'll see this as a good opportunity to try and cause a bit of an upset. Eddie Howe, though, very clever. I'm not sure they'll be quite as open as West Ham were, but I think Haaland will score.
Yeah. Question for the Q&A. Yeah. Good stuff. Good to see you, Mohammed. Week after week, it seems like the template team is getting bigger. How to make up the places? You play the long game and the opportunities will come. The opportunities will come around double game weeks where the template is so split because there's so many good options. The opportunities will come around wildcards. Just before wildcards, you can have those short 2-week punts or 1-week punts on players you know you're going to be selling in 2 weeks, where you might drop Salah for KDB, or there will be opportunities. Just stay patient with it. If you try and chase too many opportunities too soon, you can get stung. I've been guilty of that a lot because I'm always looking to break the template, as you know, Mohammed. Yeah,
totally. All right, Great Michael says, what would you do if you have a Patterson, which is rotated with Nico Williams and Saliba at 0.5 in the bank? What would you suggest? So if you have a Patterson, which is rotated with Nico... I don't totally get the question here, do you?
No, is it if you swap Saliba and Nico Williams? No, I'm not sure either.
Sorry,
Don't know. Can you
sorry,
help me there?
Michael. Sorry, mate.
Dude. Let's move on. Whom do I start, Johnny or Nico Williams? Nico Williams. Johnny
Oh
is
my
going to
God.
concede goals. Easy. Surely Spurs score. Everton might not score.
Nico Williams, I'm starting to think is just a stick. Just stick because I'm not sure exactly when he's going to come up with points. I think Forest are going to pull up some big results this season at weird times. And I think it's going to be pretty inconsistent. But the way they're being built, especially if they bought like 16 players, it's going to be hit and miss and when they all come together. But Nico Williams at 4 million, just having in your team, those misses, I think will be worth it for the times when he absolutely fires. I think there'll be some big points to have. So maybe, just don't worry about him and just build the rest of your team.
Agreed. I've got one free transfer. Oh, should I carry? I don't think I transfer out Son, despite my against the obvious. Roll it. Having a free transfer is lovely for being able to roll it and then do 2 moves next week. You can't sell Son ahead of Wolves. I wouldn't be buying Son in, and I definitely want Kane over Son, but you can't sell him for this fixture.
No, I mean, Wolves aren't that good at the moment. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're not that good. Like Fulham should have beaten them last week. And if that's the case, then Tottenham will beat them. Neto or Nico Williams, who to start? I'm still going to say Nico Williams. I think he's one of my best picks for this week, to be honest.
I'm tempted. Lee Hudson. Is it time to triple? Lee Hudson's a Palace fan. Is it time to triple up on Palace?
I don't think I've got any Palace.
I've not seen any teams with Palace, which I do feel is a bit harsh because they are a good team with good FPL assets, but they had terrible fixtures at the start of the year. I think Zaha when the fixtures turn. I think Eze. I think Elise when the fixtures turn. If he takes the spot off Ayew, and Vieira does like Ayew in more difficult games, I think they're 3 good attacking options, and the centre backs are really good as well. Even Guaita could become the best 4.5 keeper. So keep your eyes on Palace, but not just yet.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. Right, let's see if there's any more questions to keep our brains working. Yep, there is.
We're getting pushed out on questions. Loads of questions coming in, guys. We get to as many as we can.
We're doing our best, yeah. The clogs are turning away here. What do you think about bringing in Gundogan for Mount and saving the 0.5 to upgrade a 5 million defender to Perisic? I quite like it. I think Gundogan is definitely flying just under the radar at the moment. And I think that he's going to be someone that a lot of people never actually get around to jumping on, but are tempted to. And I think that if you jump on Gundogan, you will make up points at times when you least expect it. Mount so far looking okay. We know that he's going to be a consistent performer, but Gundogan, I think there's value to be had.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I wonder if Foden for the extra 0.5, if you can reach there, is better, but I like both options. Who should I bench? Gabriel Walker or Gordon? Gordon. I think you want to play Gabriel and Walker. Arsenal, great fixture. City, good enough fixture. And Everton, you just don't know if the goals are going to come.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Gordon's got a lot on his mind at the moment as well, with his future on the line. A potential move to Chelsea coming. So very interesting one. Still can't believe he might be joining Chelsea, but there you go. Yeah. Right. Ryan says start one of Andreas or Bailey. I mean, where is Bailey? What's happened? I don't, can't back him. You can't back Leon Bailey at this point. I mean, it will take us by surprise at some point. Everyone will sell him, and then he'll come on and he'll score or assist. But if it's out of those two, you've got to be going with Andreas Pereira because he's going to start at the weekend.
Guys, loads of you watching. Awesome to have so many in the chat on Friday night. We are seeing very busy Friday night streams. Guys, if you are new, then give us a subscribe because we go live every Friday, 7 p.m. Every Monday as well. Like the Monday shows are slightly different. We're talking more tactics. We did a bonus points show on earlier in the week. And then Friday's more about team reveals, but we're always answering your questions too. Mark's asked about Bowen or Mount. Mount for me. I'm not convinced on West Ham yet this season. They're not the same West Ham yet.
They're not. Yeah. No. I think that they're in a state of flux at the moment. I think they need a couple of things to change before they keep going again. Bowen, I haven't heard anyone talk about him. Forgot existed.
And he's expensive. 8.5. You've got to spend. It's a different price band for Bowen. Triple captain Salah. Dean, you
Triple
wouldn't, would
captain
you?
Salah. I don't know about that. I think there'll be better weeks to be on triple captain than this one for Salah.
All about the doubles. Has to be about the doubles, and we're going to
Yeah,
get.
don't do it. Don't do it.
We've got more questions. I think we've got. We're going to, I think, draw to a conclusion here, guys. We've answered so many questions. It's been so much fun. If you think Gianni is going to overtake Dean this week, like the stream. Aren't I above you, Dean? Are you above me?
You're 1 point. You're 1 point ahead of me. Yeah. So you've already done it.
Come on.
But yeah,
it's a marathon, not a sprint, though, right?
Yeah, I'm very happy, to be honest. Going into the third game week and just a point behind you. That's probably a big improvement on where I've been at any other point of us doing this show. So that's handy. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. I hope I can continue to be above you. I don't mind if I win by a point, mate. If I win by a point, I'll take it.
Mate, yeah. To be honest, I hope you finish above me too, because it's your job.
We'll get no work next year. You won't be seeing me on that Premier League podcast next year if Dean beats me.
They're like, sorry, mate, we just had Dean finished above you. You're gone.
Crikey, CFC, you guys are the best. Like the stream, people. Guys, thank you. Like the reason we push the likes so much, because you might watch this and go, God, they asked for a lot of likes. They asked for more likes than the other channels. But as a new channel starting up, and you guys know the FPL space, there are tons of YouTube FPL channels. The likes mean we're more noticed pretty much by YouTube. So we get more views through the YouTube algorithm if we're showing on more people pretty much. So likes and subscribes and comments, really important for us. So when we leave you tonight, if you could drop a comment in the actual video, not in the chat, but comment on the video, just with your thoughts, because we really want the feedback, right? Any constructive feedback's welcome. Tell us the features you like. Tell us what you don't like so much. Tell us how you think we could improve. And we'll go through every single one of those comments, guys. So if you can give us a comment about your opinion on this show, because we're new and we're still changing things, we really want that opinion. So do give us a comment too.
Yeah, 100%. No, thanks for all the love. But this isn't the finished article at all, this show. And as you say, we're new to the space. But I think this show is definitely different to all the other stuff out there. And you guys are a massive part of it. And obviously, we're going to be shouting out every week too, like whoever's top of our CGA league, like we're going to be shouting you out and giving lots of praise to people in here, because let's face it, like most of you in the comments are better than me at this game. I'm just here chatting to you and telling you some other stuff about what I'm hearing around the teams and the players. But Laura, great stream as always, guys. Thank you. And yeah, thanks to people like Laura and CH that are so loyal and keep coming back.
Yeah, so many good names in the chat. I saw Tiffany there earlier, FPL River 2, Nuclear. Thank you, Mark. Good of you to say. I'm really, really pleased to get all this warm feedback on a Friday evening. It's good to hear, guys. We literally do streams because we want to engage with you. Like we could very easily, and it'd be a lot easier for our diaries to just record an hour show and structure it and stick it on YouTube. And you'd watch it, but you wouldn't. Not all of you would watch it, because hopefully you like this level of involvement, right? We see this as the Chasing Green Arrows family. You're growing the channel with us by encouraging that chat, by sharing it to your friends, by posting about us on Twitter. That's all really, really useful. So thank you guys for the love. We'll see you on Monday. Good luck this game week. Good luck to those going against Salah for captaincy. I still don't mind the Jesus shout. I still don't mind the Haaland shout. This is a week you might be able to go against the obvious. We are both captaining Salah. We'll see how we got on Monday. Join us at 7 then. And for now, he's been Dean, I've been Gianni, and we've been Chasing Green Arrows.